700 games here for Ruler. Third place here in the LCK for bot laners, and 10th as far as all time for Samsung Galaxy at that time. If we remember back, I think laning with Wraith in his first time out. So fun times back on his original organization, although a little bit of a different name now. Now let's get into the draft. For game number 2, Nongshim, remember, 0 and 22 against Gen G. Can they finally buck the trend that has been going since the inception of this team, not being able to take down Gen G ever?
Yeah, I mean, after game 1, odds aren't looking super amazing. Also interesting to note, so last game, we saw Gen G pick second pick.
Yep.
And this time around, so Nongshim picked blue side, because it was their choice because I lost game 1. And Gen G opted to go for first pick instead. So switching things up a little bit here.
Yeah, changing gears.
One thing I will say that is nice is that we won't get to see Jason to Sion again, because it's rootless, which I think has been something some other teams have been struggling to have an impact with. Obviously, Kingen did not have the greatest time in that previous matchup. We are rattling through the bans pretty quickly. Karma, still open and available, so I imagine that will probably be...
No, Rumble.
It's Karma or Rumble, it's one of the other.
Maybe they ban neither and just accept the other one? It's kind of crazy, though.
I think that's what you could do.
Karma Xin Zhao is pretty powerful on the 1-2, if Nongshim can get there. Otherwise, Xin Zhao Rumble also doesn't sound too bad, given the fact that Nocturne and Jarvan have both been taken away. So they give over the Karma instead of the Rumble. They will be taking that Rumble away.
I will say Karma weakened a little bit by the fact that Jhin and Ezreal are both gone. Two of the stronger pairings. There's still like Caitlyn Karma, which is a pretty solid one.
You can just pick Caitlyn Lux now and deny that as well. But then there's Sivir Karma, which is also pretty powerful.
That's pretty good too, yeah. There's still definitely options for Karma. You know, she's a versatile pick that matches with them.
Yep, but Jarvan is also fearlessly banned as well, so Sivir feels more pickable.
Yep, for sure. So now what are Nongshim going to be able to get their hands on in trade for this? They will go for that Xin Zhao. I think denying that away from the Karma shielding is really important.
Yeah, you could also just lock in Xin Lulu if you'd like to. Obviously, Nara has already been taken away, so it'd have to be an Aphelios type thing, but Aphelios Karma doesn't exactly feel inspiring, outside of the fact that Karma is, you know, the inspiring champion.
That is the name of one of her abilities.
Indeed. Could also be a Seraphine lock-in.
Yeah,
I don't know whether you're playing Karma
try and go the Ashe Seraphine. You could just go the Ashe right here and then go Seraphine afterwards.
Or you could blind Nah into Keen.
Just slam that. I guess the thought process here is Gen G probably want to secure their jungle AD carry in this rotation, but I'm certain... I say they'd be willing to pivot. Often they do put Keen lower in the totem pole in terms of priority in draft. He is pretty versatile, so you can kind of play everything. And it looks like they are going to go for this Trundle, which we've seen a lot of times into the Xin Zhao, been able to chomp him, steal that AD, and also shred his resistances. And yeah, they will prioritize the AD carry jungle here, so that's why kind of the blind Nah works here against Gen G, because they just say, Keen can pick whatever, we'll leave him later. We want to prioritize securing that Caitlyn for the Karma when there's less AD carries available to pair with her, and the Trundle coming through as well. Now, the Aurora comes out in the mid lane.
And I feel like there are answers to the Aurora. We know that Chovy would probably be happy to play things like Hwei into it, stuff like that can potentially outrange. But she is probably one of the more strong mid laners that are still available, as Annie, Azir, Orianna all unavailable at the moment. Ryze falling out of favor, and also you do kind of outrange him.
I was going to say Ryze would be very... Because one of the reasons we've seen Ryze just drop off a cliff is because there's the tough matchups of Anivia, Cassiopeia. But if you've already locked your mid, then he has no problem with that. So I think
that's a good point.
Nongshim banning the Ryze here makes a lot of sense. Not wanting to give over that pick to Chovy without having one of the prepared counters that we often see.
And speaking of prepared counters, what would be the option into the Nah? We know that Keen has often said that he likes Jax into the pick. things like this. Ziggs is actually going to be taken away here to deny that as a bottom lane.
Probably wouldn't have played Ziggs into the Gnar, but, you know, that's a bad thing to do anyway. I think you can either just pick something that's like a melee pick that's not going to have a fun time, but weather the storm, or if you want to actually like try and punish the lane, we've seen a lot of range picks into it. You know, we saw Kennen fail miserably, but like this Varus, Vayne.
The Vayne is going to be banned.
You could even, we've seen Sylas into it.
True. That'd be fun.
And there's some decent ults here already. I mean, Gnar ult is obviously phenomenal, but like the Xin Zhao ultimate, pretty strong. The Aurora ultimate, solid too. So could go for that if you really wanted.
One more ban here from Genji. Wanted to take away something on the bottom side. Maybe a ban towards Lehens could come on through, but instead the Ashe is going to be denied. So no Ashe Seraphine here for the bottom lane.
Yeah, did not want to have to deal with that. Obviously, I think Karma does well into the 2v2 generally, but if you misplay, if you miss a Mantra Q, you can get punished pretty quickly in return.
All right, the Nami.
Corki Nami, I guess, is going to be what Nongshim go for.
Or Lucian Nami if Taeyeon wants to go that route instead.
You could, but
playing Lucian into Karma Caitlyn.
Yeah, sounds a little bit tough. So I'd imagine.
Not that Corki Nami sounds much better.
Marginally better. At least you can farm with your phosphorus bombs. Now kind of seeing what Keen wants to pick. We talked about some of the options there. First up going to be Chovy just taking the TF, which, you know, when you already have the Kate Karma in the side lane, this allows you really to play to your side lanes. You also can speed up the TF, slow them with a pillar, set up the gold card very easily. It's going to make it kind of a nightmare for the Xin Zhao, having to try and survive against easy setup for a stun card into a trap.
Mel, wait, top TF?
Oh yeah, looks like it's going to be, I presume, the ADTF that we used to see all the time.
I think it has been played elsewhere. That's a Smolder. Hitting him with that Smolder. No, never mind. It's going to be Corki, as we predicted. And so, yeah, that top TF. I think I've heard whispers about the top TF around the world, but we haven't seen it so far here in the LCK just yet. And with the fact that, you know, we've been seeing the Varus, the Vayne, things like this, it's only a matter of time before the other sort of range tops that we used to see come back in. Still waiting for the LeBlanc top with the Trinity Force Rush to come back. I haven't quite seen that one just yet, but I'm still holding out hope. This is going to be the Twisted Fate variant, and does mean that Keen can kind of be all over the map. Also solves a lot of vision problems that they may run into if they start falling behind. I mean, there are some great options.
The easiest gang setup onto a Gnar that I could imagine.
Oh, yeah.
So, not going to be the most fun for the Gnar into this one. So we have had one Twisted Fate game, top lane, from Wonder, in which he went 2-7-9.
Okay, positive KDA.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, barely, just about.
Yeah, but hey, you can't doubt it though. That's 1 point something.
True. Well, hopefully Keen manages to do a little bit better than that this time round.
Yeah, that would be good.
But at the end of the day, it was a win. So TF top,
there you go.
100% win rate.
And you do just make money, even if you die. It's fine. You're just making more. As let's get onto the Rift here for game number 1, 2, 3. Four. Okay, here we are. I'll try and work out exactly what game it is over the course of this early game, and hopefully it will be a little bit slower to allow my brain to catch up to what's going on here. Lehens and Taeyeon already in position. Ruler as well, just hanging out down here, more than happy. And good lord, this bottom lane is going to be difficult for Taeyeon and Lehens to play. But with some good bubbles and things like that, maybe it'll be all right.
They have decent sustain. You know, Corki has Valkyrie for a bit of safety and can use his abilities to farm a bit. It's not fun, but it's not the end of the world. There's some matchups where you're playing into Kate Karma and I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's go next. But
yeah,
they should be able to weather the storm, you'd hope. I mean, that's what they're going to have to try.
Yep.
That or struggle. One thing with Nami as well is that she can be really efficient with a W if she's able to bounce it. But in this situation, if she's getting poked from a long distance, Taeyeon's not exactly going to walk Well, there he did. But generally, it's difficult to walk up and get the full value 3 hits on the W.
Yeah, it's just not often in range, especially into a Caitlyn.
Okay, Lands, he's getting it, though. You know, I was saying it's going to be tricky. He's finding the angles.
Yep. And actually, there is the self-cast option, right? So you self-cast, try and hit an enemy, and then it can hit your AD carry if he's going aggressive. So
if everyone's together, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the optimal. That's the ideal.
That's sort of how it works. That could be working. As Kingen getting towards Meganar here as Keen stacking up a massive wave. It is the fleet footwork here for the Twisted Fate as another Peacemaker comes in. And when these are hitting as well, Ruler is often avoiding the minion wave with it, so he's getting the full amount of damage onto the Corki with the Piltover Peacemaker. And so that's why Taeun is still suffering a little. And as we saw there was at least some ebb and flow damage to come on through. And now at level 2, Tycole's Blessing is in. Doesn't have the Acro Prison just yet. But should have that one pretty soon. Level 3 now going to be gained as we're having a little bit of a look in at this mid lane. I believe Mel was just nerfed on this patch, was she not? She might have been. The rebuttal is now longer cooldown, stuff like that.
Was it this patch? I will check. I know they were planning to, but I wasn't sure if it was this patch or the next one.
I think it might have been. And her Q took a little bit of a hit as well. She's probably still fine, although not right now, as Sponge is just going to turn the wind into lightning. Audacious Charge is going to get denied, though, as Trophy flashes away, but still, Flash now on cooldown. Kingen might be on cooldown relatively soon, though, as he is getting really bullied here in this lane.
Yep, you are correct. On this patch, she got her damage toned down a good amount, to be honest. And the rebuttal cooldown. It's now gone, so there's some abilities that I feel like are so game warping.
What about the ability to die?
He still has rebuttal, he's fine.
All right.
There's some abilities that are so game warping that Riot has just had to add more and more cooldown until it doesn't really feel like a basic ability.
Yeah, like the Event Horizon. Good old Viga, perfect example.
Event Horizon's not that long, but I think the example I was thinking of was Wind Wall. It's like a 30-second cooldown level 1 or something, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, the rebuttal is now a 38-second cooldown at rank 1, which is really insane. Because I think of things like old Tom Kench Devour, and those sorts of abilities where they're like, look, these are game. Black Shield is another one, which I think is like 26-second cooldown rank 1. 666 days.
Wow. Okay. A devilish choice here for Keen. Doran, the last one to win on it against Mihail from Nongshim. So Nongshim actually the last team to lose against Twisted Fate, as Keen is 100% win rate, 7-0.
Yeah, pretty impressive. I will say that there was that period that a lot of teams were playing TF top. Some fans were upset about their favorite player playing TF top because it didn't always go well. But for Keen, it was going pretty good. And that was when Gen.G were definitely on one of their hot streaks. So going pretty positively. I wonder what build he is going to go for. I saw the build Wonder went for, and it was like Kraken Slayer into full crit with like Hex Optics. Did have Rapid Fire in with it. It was like LDR-IE.
That's pretty crazy.
I wonder if we'll got that. Do you know how the passive works with crit, by the way?
No. How does it work?
So the more crit chance you have, you know how with your passive, every time you kill something, like a minion, you have a chance to get gold?
Yeah.
Well, you get gold, it's just how much gold you get. With crit, you have a chance to double, like to have a second roll, essentially.
You can crit the gold? I didn't know that. That's crazy.
You have a chance equal to your crit strike chance to generate an additional 1 to 6 gold.
Wait, and so you double roll every time you crit? That is insanity.
It's not technically when you crit. It's not like if you kill it with a crit, that's what gives you the double roll. It's just if you kill a minion, it rolls your crit to decide if you get a double roll.
Oh. Oh, right, okay.
Because you might kill it with a Q, which you can't crit, you know?
Yeah, right.
That would
But it adds your crit to your ability to make money.
Yeah, so if you end up with a lot of crit, you can... I mean, we already see TF... I mean, look top lane already. They're even in farm. I know Keen has gotten a plate, but he's sizably ahead in gold. But, yeah,
it's the same as like a 2-wave lead or something like that. Like, look at what Ruler has. His gold lead is about the same, and he's ahead by, what, 13 CS or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. Canyon, going to move on over here. Take the King's tribute from this dragon. Scout is taking a fair bit of damage here. Chovy at level 6 is pretty frightening, as if he hits any more of these buttons, Scout could just be staring down the barrel of deadness.
Yeah, if that root hit, I think that would have been it.
Yeah.
Does manage to avoid it and back away.
Oh, wait. He was looking for a little bit of an angle towards Keen here.
I assumed he was going for like Honeyfruit or something.
Ruler got hit by a bubble and nothing happened. I feel like that's kind of the state of the lane right now here on this bottom side, as Ruler, Duro, sorry, does take a bit of damage.
Yeah, I mean, they're already a little bit behind the gold, but when one AD carry recalls and gets tier longsword dagger and the other gets BS sword, bit of a disparity in terms of trading power.
I would agree with you there. They might be able to get themselves another plate here as well, as Lehen's taking a large chunk.
Oh, and Taeyun used the phosphorus bomb on those minions and just put them all at like the worst HP possible to see. Yeah, so he missed all of them. Not ideal, obviously.
Oh, now they desperately just want to go home, I'm pretty sure. Lehen's really struggling with the mana here. And Ruler and Duro are just leaving them no space to breathe. That Phos Bomb landing is certainly good news, but Lehen's will not be able to keep sustaining Taeyun for much longer. And so, yeah, war of attrition being won here by Gen G. Keen just taking plates out of this turret on this top side. Keen doing his best, like you were saying, like keeping up in farm, absolutely fine. And he's now 600 gold behind.
Yeah, he bought a call to try and mitigate. See if that helps out.
Well, he's going to wallop the TF, smack him into the turret.
Okay, some good harass, good poke. Shouldn't be too much of an issue for Keen to get back here. Obviously with home guards, but also has his ult if he really desperately wants to get back quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the nice thing is that you can go Ghost because you have, you'll get the free TP, but you also have your ult as well.
Scout goes in. Chovy rebuts an ebb and flow, which is crazy. The ulti comes down, and Scout mitigates it. Gets himself out of the way.
Was that the stun from the Hens that stopped it on the bubble?
I don't know. But something denied it. It
Yeah.
looked like it was when Scout went into the wall.
It did look like that. But also, I think maybe Chovy got stunned out. I don't know.
Wacky.
And the thing is, we're not going to get a replay because it wasn't a kill.
Well, maybe if Nongshim win the game, the space can tell us exactly what happened in that moment.
Yeah, that would be good.
That would be really good. It's looking difficult at the moment, especially if top lane has anything to do with it, as Keen just throwing cards at Kingen. He does have his Ghost now as Kingen flashes away and Sponge shows up. Keen is still looking for an angle, though, as Canyon's moving in. Oh, the pillar placement not perfect for killing the Gnar, and Sponge does have his ultimate. Stun is going to connect, though. There's a subjugation. Wildcards do not do very much, but still, Sponge makes it out. Now going to at least survive.
Both flashes being burned for top jungle definitely going to mean... I mean, you're happy you didn't die there, but Kingen and Sponge try to take the 2v2 and just aren't able to. It's so hard when it's Trundle TF. You have the CC and you have that skirmishing power, especially into the Xin Zhao.
Oh, it's so cute, by the way. Whenever you tether the Corki, you are actually taking the dog for a walk.
True.
Brilliant. The only other champion in the bottom lane is Kog'Maw that you can do that with. The Corki skin, just brilliant. There might be
Unless someone
others.
plays Sejuani Yasuo again, and we get...
Hey, that's true. You could also take the pig for a walk as well, or the Poro for a walk. There are a lot of different animal options there.
I did manage to check, and it was the bubble stun Chovy when he was casting.
Aha, so that's what it was.
That's what stopped.
It did look weirdly like Scout had managed to avoid it somehow.
The timing was kind of impeccable.
Yeah, it was just weird.
I was like,
I'm pretty sure you can't do that, but like, it looked like he did. So maybe I don't doubt it.
Scout as well, and I kind of saw out the corner of my eye Chovy get bubbled. But yeah.
That's a lot of damage onto Scout. I thought that Q was nerfed. Is Chovy just going to deny Scout's back? Exactly. This is getting more and more frustrating. As how do they stop this from happening, Ox?
Yeah, normally you stop this from happening in the draft. They did give over Karma Caitlyn. At least one thing is that Lehen's, you know, as you stack up Mana Flow Band, assuming he has it, and get some more mana regen, which, I mean, to be honest, he hasn't really built yet. But generally, the more mana you get, you can sustain a bit more through some of this poke. But it is not a good time. They are struggling, very much so, in this matchup with the bot lane.
It's looking very rough. And Ruler has also completed his quest. We're still, you know, a decent chunk away from it, actually, for Taeyun, unfortunately. as Ruler getting so much value from all of the plates that he's taken. 4 plates really does help accelerate him in that department. So just going to be making even more money as Canyon,
I mean, this...
heading down to the bottom lane.
Oh, Scout gets poked out a little bit, but it feels like Nongshim have more control over the area for now.
Yeah, at least for the moment. Keen has his quest teleport up and available now. Kingin with his regular one. And, oh, that Mantra Q actually hurting a fair bit. Peacemaker is going to go wide, though, as Sponge wants to be able to get control of this crab. The Canyon, he's got other plans, as Lehen's going to have to flash out of the way. The trap was in place. Now Canyon is going to look to try and challenge Sponge, who does manage to take down that Rift Scuttler. As we can see here, this could be our latest First Blood, which is kind of crazy. It will, in fact, be, as I look at the number at the top of the screen. Ticked over 12 minutes as there's the tidal wave. Will be avoided here by Gen G, and the Aqua Prison also goes wide, as now Scout's in a very awkward position. Can go between the worlds, but still gets decorated by Chovy's Q, and he has to flash in the end. Finally, he gets overwhelmed and taken down, and so there is that First Blood at 12.5 minutes, the latest one of the season so far, and it will go over to Chovy.
Yeah, bit of an assist from the Cloud Dragon, helping out to get Scout low enough for that ult to come in.
But oh no, people are going to say that I'm biased. My dragon killed Scout.
True. And everyone knows you are, specifically toward Beryl.
That is true, but he's no longer playing. So I'm safe from my biases now.
It's freed you.
Indeed.
Yeah, Pillar catches him. He goes for the ult, but the dragon knocks him so he can't get there in time.
It looked super awkward because I think the angle we had, the dragon was blocking the pillar placement. So it kind of looked like he just decided not to use the ult. As there is the escape. And,
honestly,
oh, man, that is so frustrating.
I saw the Cloud Dragon assisting with the damage, but he actually just completely carried that play.
Yeah, straight up. Sick mechanics. Hopefully we get a Cloud Dragon perspective replay.
And then Gen G just killed the dragon, you know, their 6th teammate.
Huh.
Not sure how I feel about that.
Might have been jealousy. Like, they're like, wow, you're an NPC. You can't be playing that well. That's rude. And
I mean,
took it down.
If we're being honest, we've seen Skullcrab mechanics.
That is true.
So
that is very, very true. Anyway, Nongshim now just trying to pick up the pieces as best they can. But at 14 minutes with a 3.5k gold lead, I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
There's only 1 kill that's happened in this game, and every single lane is a shutout here on Gen G's side.
Yeah, the thing is, initially, it was Chovy's lane that had like the smallest lead of the 3, but him getting that kill obviously pushes him into a great position. Bot lane, sizably ahead due to laning advantages. And then Keen is literally just cheating.
Yeah, he's also just printing money. He did this with Rumble earlier in the year.
Oh, there, it just got the proc that he got 5 gold and 6 gold.
Yeah.
That was the crit proc. Did you know that he also cheats, so he literally, he's more likely to get 6 gold than any other number?
Oh, yes.
It's
obnoxious.
So TF.
Well, this is going to be first turret as well. Gen G will now have a 4,000 gold lead. And I'm waiting for that time where it can get better for Nongshim. You know? That moment where the clouds part and they can then see the light and everything's fine. Just may not ever happen. That's what it's kind of feeling like to me.
Yeah.
Teleport in from the Mel as Chovy makes his way back.
They are setting up around this Herald, it seems, but Genji's going to push towards that mid-tier 1.
And Chovy just zones them all away.
I think, honestly, there's a ward on Genji's Raptors. If you want to try and fight them for something, it's like get a TP flank in. They even just pinged that ward right now. 2 pings. They might be thinking the same thing. Yep, there's TPs coming through.
The double teleports flanking on both sides as Canyon now trying to move back to see whether he can defend. It looks like Gen G are just going to try and get themselves out, but Canyon may not be so lucky. Does, of course, have access to the subjugation to try and become much more tanky here, but it can certainly be very difficult. He flashes out of the way as Kingin will be able to stack up the Hyper, and there is the kill. Very nicely done, as Nongshim will be able to equalize the kill score at least.
Yeah, as much as it's nice that they got the kill and you should be able to get the Herald, unfortunately, Keen is still pushing the side lane, printing gold. Although...
yeah, Scout might be able to land a bit of damage on him, as Gold Card is going to get eaten. And Scout still trying to chase him down. Lands the dash cannon, but not the Q.
I think the problem is that Nongshim clearly went for that double TP play because they wanted to...
Wait, Sponge didn't have smite, so he had to wait a really long time.
I'm not gonna lie.
Sure that Duro couldn't kill it.
If he died to Duro and lost the Herald...
That's an FF. That's an FF.
You just go next.
Yeah.
They got it. They have the Herald. That's nice. That's something. Maybe they can use the Combat Herald for this next dragon. But the problem is when they went for those double TPs, I think they were hoping for so much more than just a singular kill onto Canyon. You could tell they were looking for the bot lane, but both bot laners of Genji had their summoners and were also able to just disengage. And the end result is it's still positive getting the kill on the Herald. But with this deficit, you were definitely hoping for more. And we saw Keen pushing the bot lane, getting gold, getting plates. Chovy's taking this top tower.
Yeah, this is the problem. They're just everywhere on the map, Genji.
Yeah.
It's taking so much money. It's 5,000 gold the lead, largely based on just map play and positioning.
I mean, this is...
And TF.
This is Genji. This is their map play that we used to expect for them last year in particular.
I have missed them, to be honest. It's been a while since we've seen this kind of suffocation gameplay. But let's have a look here, as from Duro's perspective, he's like, I could get him.
까비. 미드 한번 가볼게요. 그러니까.
I'm glad that we got Duro's perspective, but I'm not entirely sure why we did. As, okay, Destiny going to come on through here as Keen gets a little bit of an angle. The Crescent Guard is fantastic, though, as Keen just fighting alongside Scout. Scout is going to get pushed away. Taeyeon now in a little bit of trouble as Ruler will take a bit of poke damage, but there is a dead Xin Zhao. With Sponge down, there is no way that they can combat this Herald. That'll be soul point over to Genji.
It's so hard to approach.
Did I say Herald? I meant Dragon.
Yeah, Dragon. It's so hard to approach when Genji have control of the area. They have this line of traps. They have the TF. They have... You know, so much CC.
Even
with
the
Mel,
yeah.
Yeah, they have the pillar. This is so much so a composition that just holds its ground, and it's on Nongshim to find angles of approach, and they are really struggling, especially from this deficit. So the stun card comes in, the follow-up is there, and Genji pick up more gold, more advantages.
Oh, Lehens is dead.
A kill onto the Nami, and their third dragon of the game.
Chovy ordered seafood today, as it turns out. And
feels
it's almost as dunzo as the last game.
This one feels worse because there was the comeback play in the last one.
That's true. There were a couple of moments.
There was a lot of kills traded. This just feels like the crushing suffocation. The pillar here, such a problem for Sponge. He tries to dive in, just gets stun carded.
여기까지 하고 빼가 그냥. 야 밀어내는 생각 빼자.
All right. So he was just gonna head towards the top side.
뭐야. 잡았어.
What is this? And kills him.
Oh, a little freebie.
Yep. Just one of his former Griffin teammates lying on the floor now. Chovy will now be moving towards his bottom side to try and push King in away at the same time.
I like how we joked about the Ruler Lehens thing earlier in game one. You know, when he missed the bullets on him, like he's looking away when he's trying to shoot. Chovy has none of that. He's
no, he does not have that.
He'll just kill him.
He's like, sorry, Lehens. He probably didn't even say sorry.
Probably didn't even say sorry.
He just said, thank you for the money.
Thank
you, Lehens.
Oh,
that might have been what he said.
Looking for an angle here.
Yeah, Scout goes between worlds. Decent amount of damage there onto Keen and Canyon. Flash out from the Twisted Fate, who gets the Inspire Shield from Duro. And then the snare. It's fantastic for the disengage. Tidal Wave not doing much of anything at all there, as the ulti from Chovy is going to soften up at least Sponge, but otherwise everyone else looking okay. Oh, Ruler was just in mid lane.
Yeah, Keen has TP as well, by the way. He's just going to TP top. They're not even opting into...
Wait.
Oh, they're looking for Ruler. There's
Ruler
a Mega Gnar coming.
is walking relatively slowly. Oh, they're going to play Ring Around the Rosy. He gets the trap down, as Keen's going to show up with the Destiny Gate. Net is going to give some space there to Ruler, as Keen could be the sacrificial TF, and I believe he is. Protect the president, sometimes with your life.
Yep. Ends up being a collapse that works pretty well for Nongshim. They also get the TP from Keen out for that play.
Hang on a second.
Scout's in trouble.
Yeah, they do stop the backs, though, so it's 4 versus 3 at this point in time. Duro relatively low, but Canyon isn't. He is very scary on this Trundle. And Nongshim are just going to back away. These health bars just are not high enough. However, maybe a bit of an angle here towards Canyon, who does get knocked away by the Crescent Guard. Chovy still hunting for some more damage. He flashes forward, finds the ulti onto Sponge to wipe him out, and gets Lehens as well for the double. He will die for it, but I guess it's probably worth, and he probably had a great time while he was doing it.
Yeah, picks up those 2 kills, and Nongshim trying to see if there's an angle still available. Kingen has a Mega Nova, gets pillared here.
When does this ever end? As they dive on top of Ruler, Kingen taking a lot of damage, a Scout as well. With that burst, does force out the flash from this Caitlyn.
So many summoners burned. Genji's going to turn onto the Baron now. They have a lot of DPS between the Caitlyn and the TF. And with Karma shields, Canyon should just be able to tank this one up comfortably. So despite a little bit of a hectic passage of play there, despite Nongshim trying to contest, get some kills, it still ends up being Genji coming out ahead, and it still starts to feel more and more dire now for Nongshim.
Yeah, and the Herald also just kind of waltzed up the mid lane. Unfortunately, they didn't really have much of an opportunity to utilize it. Might actually get a charge here, as can't quite see what's going on. There it is, does manage to get a charge. Scout is going to get a death, so that is going to be another one in the middle column there. And Taeyeon also taking chunks of damage here from Ruler. Infinity Edge Stormrazor working out relatively well at this point in time. So 1 minute on the Dragon. That'll be Infernal Soul for Genji if they're able to get there. And Kingen, fair bit of time, space was bought by the rest of his teammates so that he could grab a couple of plates here in this bottom lane. But a couple of plates on a bottom outer turret is kind of the extent of the good news for that last passage of play. And Keen, in the meantime, is just going to completely obliterate this inner turret.
Yeah, he's so far ahead now. Obviously, we talked already about him printing gold, but just farming up a Storm in the side lane, pushing constantly, a persistent threat. And now, 30 seconds until Infernal Soul. Genji are moving in to secure this. If they get control of the area, it's going to be so hard.
Well, Chovy teleported in for this one, as he does run very, very quickly. And gets himself out of the way. Ruler also doing a decent amount of work. There is the rebuttal on the tidal wave. Ace in the hole comes in. Lehens taken down to 50% health before anything's really happened, as the Peacemaker also doing a whole bunch of work. But Genji not really finding the angle to start off this fight, as Keen wanting to get in there with a gold card, goes between the worlds, but gets into the brush here that Genji has control vision of. Now Canyon moving on over as Kingen jumps in, gets the Gnar only onto the Trundle, and he's got the subjugation to keep himself safe. The Twist of Fate destroys Taeyeon. And now Sponge is just running for the hills. The rest of Genji chasing after Scout and Lehens, as Scout is just going to explode. The double kill comes through from Chovy here, who's having a day out on the Mel. And they'll take themselves a Dragon Soul, and then a Nexus if they want to. Kind of anything that Genji wants, they can have.
Clean ace there, and the timing is perfect here. Keen teleports in with Rapid Fire Cannon, and he's such a threat, so they try and push him out and deal with him. But Genji just holding their space really well, playing around things like the pillar. The stun card comes in so Taeyeon can't do any damage, and they focus Kinging down in the meantime. That auto crit and finished off the Corki, and then it's just chasing down kills. Keen gets this extended auto over the wall to help secure Sponge. Chovy gets a double with the ult. This feels like that tried and true Genji we've seen in the past. They maintain that sort of death ball in these team fights, and are just so good at moving together as a unit.
This is what we were expecting to see from Genji this entire season, as Canyon going to get knocked up there by the tidal wave. Duro, I don't think is going to be able to completely save him, but the blast going will. Thank you, Infernal Rift. As Kingen with a Gnar bar, pretty charged, doesn't get the hop on top of Canyon, but will be able to wallop him. Gets the Gnar back as well. Let's see whether the subjugation can keep him alive, and it absolutely can. And in the meantime, Ruler is taking out the Gnar. He is also going to get taken down by Sponge, though, so pretty good news here for Nongshim, going 1-for-1 at any stage of this game with a 12,000 gold deficit. You're pretty happy with.
Oh, Keen's coming.
Yeah, here's the wraparound, and Canyon just going to move in. His engage is putting his body in front of him, and honestly, it's working. As the Mel is going to be able to pick up the Aurora. That is so much damage onto Sponge. Nothing he can do. A double kill for Chovy, a double kill for Canyon, and Genji will waltz down the mid lane after another ace.
I might even just be able to end the game on the back of this. So looking bot towards the wave. Deliberating if they want to go mid or bot. It's 20 seconds for a lot of the members of Nongshim. Kingen's up sooner, but a mini Gnar really isn't going to be much of a threat here.
No, it certainly is not. Mini wave going to Conga line in. And so Kingen, level 15, can he manage to save this? That's the question. As the snare almost connects. Kane taking a lot of damage from the turret, but my goodness, Chovy's passive really doing some work here on this Mel as Taeyeon, he comes out of the fountain and he is going to watch his Nexus explode. 23-0. Genji's record against Nongshim.
Who do you think had more impact, or you rate their performance higher?
Well, let's have a look at what they were talking about towards the end of this one. As Canyon, the old put your body in it engage, as a trundle composition sometimes have to rely on. They did manage to kill Ruler, and then, yeah, they just kind of won the game.
I wasn't sure if they're going to just keep Keen pushing at this point, because he was touching inhibitor towers, but they saw the angle to TP in. He stuns the AD carry, flashes away, and just has the DPS. Guts, I think they lost Ruler, but they have a second AD carry.
Not to mention they have Chovy, who dash cannoned in and just did a lot of work.
He did do a lot of damage.
Yeah, Chovy having a bit of a day out on the Mel. Let's have a look at this post-game graph, and it is 10k ahead of his opposition. Chovy just really having a pretty good one, but Keen as well, peppering them with a whole bunch of cards and making tons and tons of money.
And it's such a consistent gold graph. Like, the biggest dip is so minute. It's just consistently going in one direction. Nongshim didn't get any towers. They got the Herald, but other than that, no neutral objectives, so...
And 3 aces in a row towards the end of the game there, and we finish this one off at 26 minutes. It is, yeah, very close to a perfect game outside of that Herald like you were talking about. Keen picks up player of the match. I think very well deserved. Played the first Twisted Fate that we've had on the top side on that for a very long time. Continues that 100% win rate, 7-0 now. And his Scion was instrumental.
Yeah, absolutely.